Hey folks, what's up? This is Vivs from slidenerd over here. In the last vid, we were successful in building upon this structure over here that you guys see in this vid. We are gonna go ahead, put some buttons, sine, cos, tan, pi, and this, what do you call this, man? Factorial. Yep. Put that inside this vertical linear layout or our orange box 1 over here. So let's go to the code over here. Where is the orange box 1? This is the orange box 1. Inside this, we need to put 5 buttons. Let me copy paste this button which we have created over here. Alright, so there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Control Shift F to format stuff. The width is wrap content for each. Height is this. Text, let's change the text. Sign. Now remember, you're supposed to put text inside your strings.xml file as per standard practices. But for now, I'm not doing that, alright, because things are too complicated with that. So here, if you guys see, we have stuck with this pi. How do we put the value pi inside this? Very simple. Just hold Alt on your keyboard, go to your numpad on the right side, 227. There you go, bam, that's pi. You guys can see that. So that's put inside now. That's done. Let's go to the graphical layout and check how that looks. Okay, so we have these buttons over here. Alright, now the funny thing is, it's actually not good enough because we need these buttons to take up all the available height, right? For that, we can actually give layout weight, right? If you guys remember, this orange box 1 over here that you see on the screen is actually a vertical linear layout. So for each button, if we give a layout weight of 1, it's gonna stretch equally in the vertical direction. So let's go and do that. I'm gonna say layout weight over here. Let's copy paste this code for everything. Now if you go to the graphical layout and check, now you guys can see that vertically they are all equally divided. But there is one more thing we need to do. We need to make them that horizontally they also take up all the available space inside this orange box 1. For that, what I can do is I can have the layout width for each of these buttons to match parent, right? And that's going to take up all the available space. So let me go and do that first. I'm going to say layout width is match parent for the buttons. I'm going to do that for all of them. Now if you go to the graphical layout, things look good. Well, not really great, but they definitely look good. Now there's one more thing I need to tell you guys. Now this orange box 1 inside which these 5 buttons are, it's a vertical linear layout, right? So when we give a layout weight of 1, we were telling the Android system to give heights that is equal for all the buttons. But since Android is already calculating heights using wrap content, this layout weight height is an additional calculation. So what we are going to do is we are going to set the layout height for each of this button to 0 dp so that the performance is optimized in some way. Alright, so here if you see there's a height of wrap content, I'm going to say 0 dp for this and for all the buttons out there. So now when I go to my graphical layout, there is not much changes, but of course it's optimized a bit thanks to the 0 dp height for each. Now we need to replicate the same thing for these buttons, that is our in, log, e, raised to, and this root symbol over here. So let's go and copy paste these 5 buttons and just paste them exactly the way they are for the other layer. That is our orange box 2 over here, right? So let's go and do that. Take all the 5 buttons, copy them. So inside this orange box 2, which is our second orange box over here, I'm gonna go ahead and paste those other 5 buttons. I'm gonna rename them. I'm gonna call them it's in, I think, for the first one. Then we have our log. So again we are stuck here, the last one where we need to rename it as root, right? So it's pretty simple. I remove that, hold Alt and enter 251 on your numpad, and bam, there you go, the root symbol is there. So let's go and see that in the graphical layout. There you go, those 5 buttons are placed. Now there is something we guys can observe. If you see, there is a margin over here with this complete vertical linear layout, right? Now there are different ways we can put this margin. We can have this margin with this blue box, that is our big blue box, right? Or we can have the margin with this, that is our orange box over here. What I'm gonna do in this case is I'm gonna have a margin with our blue box. Let's see how that looks. Our big blue box is over here. I'm gonna give it a margin left of say 30 dp. Alright, again for the margin right, again I need to give 30 dp. It would be best if you store these values inside a diamonds file, diamonds.xml, as per the standard practice, but I'm not doing that right now. And margin bottom again of 30 dp, and let's see how that actually looks. Let me go to the graphical layout here. Okay, that is fair enough, but if you guys notice, there's an additional space over here, right, near our in button. So in short, for this orange box 2 that we have over here, we need to give this a margin right of 30 dp, and that would separate this black one and this one by some space, right? Let's go and do that. Let me find the orange box 2 that's right over here. For this I'm gonna give a margin right over here by saying 30 dp. I'm not sure how this will look, but let's see the graphical layout. Okay, so there we have some space. You can see that blue layout from behind coming in between because of that space, right? Okay, so they are separated nicely. So in this vid we have arranged these things. Basically in the next vid we are gonna go ahead build this this other block over here. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next vid. Have a nice day.